Hey Facebook, this is part 2 of the multiverse theory, and I was trying to explain it as best as I could in the last video. Like, I'm more philosophically driven. I'm pretty sure there are people that are more scientific and can explain it to you better in a scientific sense. But from my spiritual, I like to explain it in a spiritual sense and a philosophical sense of the multiverse and worlds theory. And I can go on and on about quantum physics, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to do the basic, simple explanation. When I was studying quantum physics, like I said before, whatever decision you make can affect a lot of things, and when you observe things, that could change into different realities. As you observe particles, they change as soon as you observe them. And also, I would like to talk a little bit about time and space. Time affects a lot of things. A lot of people will ask a question of time, like, what is time? Like, is it 5 o'clock? It's 10 o'clock? Does that mean anything? Time is pretty much, believe it or not, everyone operates on their own time. A lot of people don't want to believe it because everyone could argue right now that it's about to be 10 o'clock, or it's not 10 o'clock. What time is this? Like, yeah, it's about to be 10 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone can agree on that. But in reality, everyone operates on their own time depending on how fast their heart is beating. And I know that sounds weird, but let me explain. Everyone's perception of time is different. Yes, it might be 10 o'clock to everyone, but think about it like this. When you're bored, doesn't time seem like it's moving slowly? And when you're having fun, it seems like it's going fast. Because imagine subject A and subject B. Subject A is having a great time, and subject B is not. For subject A, it seems like time is going by so fast, and the subject B, it seems like time is moving slowly. And it seems to me that when someone is in pain or agony, time seems to slow down. And when someone is loving, having fun, and doing great things, and the energy is positive, time seems to be, doesn't matter. It's kind of like when I draw. It's like when I draw, 12 hours could go by and it would feel like not a lot of time has gone by. I wouldn't have a sense of time, because when you're in love, what I think the key to the universe is definitely love, one of them. Because when you're in love, like if you're with that person, that oh so special person that you love dearly, time doesn't seem to matter. And when you're in agony and pain, it seems like time is so slow. So it's like everybody operates on their own time, even though our world tries to measure time just to get things more organized for us slaves to go to work and work for the powers that be. Time is perceived very differently. Like, for example, I've learned that the way you breathe and your heartbeat can determine time. I read that the older you get, the faster time seems to go. Because when your heart slows down, it seems like things are moving very fast. When your heart is beating very fast, it seems like things are moving very slowly. And it's all about how your brain is processing information. If your brain is really, really over, like let's say a car is coming, and now I know this has something to do with multiverse and multi-worlds. This is some other aspect of quantum physics, but I'm going to tie this all in the end. Time is like this, okay, so a car is about to hit you. Now, haven't you noticed that when you're in situations like that, time seems to slow down because your heart's beating so fast and your brain is trying to take in as much information as it can, so things seem to be moving slowly, but actually it's just the way you perceive things. As opposed to, let's say you're just walking down the street and everything seems to be moving all slow and faster. I mean, things seem to move faster. Like, wow, everything's moving so fast. And this comes back to multi-worlds. Worlds have a lot to do with time perception and vibration as well, which is that's another deep topic. Different dimensions operate on different vibrational levels. So, like I talked about, the higher the vibration, the more likely it is you will not be, like, everything's in frequency and light and vibration, okay? If you're vibrating very fast, you notice when things move very, very, very fast, it's like you can't even perceive them because they're moving so fast, but they still exist. And when things move so slowly, it seems like it moves so slow that it doesn't seem like it's moving at all, but it is. Kind of like a planet's rotation. The planet rotates so slowly, like being on Earth. Many people don't feel Earth's rotation because it moves so slowly in the way we perceive time. So we don't feel the Earth rotating, but it is. It just feels like you don't feel it at all, because it moves so slowly, it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. And when things move so fast, like for example, like a fly. A fly can move so fast you don't even know it's there until it slows down in your time frame. And here's another thing that's interesting. How different animals, depending on their size, can perceive time differently. For example, like a fly, you wonder, how can this fly fly so fast? And then there are theories that flies see time in a very, very slow motion. Slow motion for objects that move faster and they're a lot smaller. And when they're things that are very giant, like let's say, alright, let's think about two different perspectives. Because I have to study this stuff because I did animation and I had to understand this. When something's very tiny, imagine, okay, I'm a human and then there's a bug on the ground. To me, it appears like the bug is moving very fast, okay? And to the bug, it might seem like I'm moving very slow. Now imagine you were the bug and you saw a human being. You look up and you see, like, for example, you're a human being and you see a giant. The giant is moving very slowly. Like, you're running really fast, and by the time it takes him to slam his hand down to crush you on the ground, you already ran to hide, okay? You perceive that thing differently than it perceives you, but essentially you guys perceive each other in a way that everything is balanced. Because the smaller you are, the more you perceive time a little differently, like slowly. Than if you're big, you perceive time, things move faster to you. So that goes back to the universe, the multi-universes. We all live in different types of perception and universes. And there are lots of tiny little universes that we can't even fucking see, because I guess by nature we're not meant to see it because it doesn't apply to what we're going through right now. And I do believe there are different creatures, different dimensions, different atoms, molecules, all this stuff flying around every day, all day, but we just can't perceive it because of where we are at as far as our perception and our vibration and being in this world. But also our presence, like just acknowledging things. See, we can't observe it, but once we acknowledge something and we acknowledge its presence, realities do change and worlds are created by that. And I do believe in that. I do believe that happens every day. Just the smallest decisions you make can affect the whole reality. And just by not making a decision can affect the reality. I don't want people to sit here and think about this stuff too much, because if you think about it too much, it can make things a little weird in your life. I would just say, like, be aware of it. And I would just say be aware of it and be conscious that life is more than what it seems, than what you can see with your own two eyes. That goes back to the third eye. The third eye is activated, like, believe it or not, everyone has dreams. But some people are so caught up in this matrix or this time plane that they don't pay attention to stuff that's not in their five senses. Like, if I can't see it, smell it, touch it, taste it, or feel it, then it doesn't exist to me. But that's not true, because there are things that this camera right here that I'm looking at can pick up that I can't. There's some things I would see in this camera that I can't see actually looking at the walls and stuff. So it's really interesting. It's so many different worlds out there. And it's interesting to discover these worlds. And once you discover them, it does influence that reality. So maybe, in my opinion, is maybe we're not meant to see all these realities at once, because we can affect each other and things can get a little weird. So maybe nature has designed things in a way where we all are in our specific reality to handle our specific journeys in life. And that's what I kind of believe, that's the way things are, because we need some type of balance. If you saw millions of different realities all at once, and there's ghosts here, aliens here, and this and this and this, that, it could make things a little weird, and it could deter you from whatever personal journey you're trying to fulfill. Like, I'm on this earth to be whatever, a good lawyer, help people, but you have to deal with aliens and spirits and ghosts and all these things. It can affect your reality. So maybe our vibrations, it's the way the universe is set up is that all these universes don't interfere with each other in a way where it keeps affecting all of our realities. But every little thing you say, you do, you think about, and thoughts too can create different worlds and realities. Don't think because it's in your head that this does not create energy. I think I should do a part 3 to this, because now I'm starting to get comfortable with the subject matter, because everything's just coming out, like, you know, because I studied this for so long. But different realities can be created by your thoughts and your intent. You know, your thoughts, and you can create, and just by observing something. Because haven't you noticed that, I remember David Icke said in one of his talks, his lectures, he quoted someone, he says, energy goes where attention goes, or energy flows where attention goes. So when you are focusing on something, like, haven't you noticed, like, when you're, like, sitting down somewhere in a room, and you're not looking at anyone, but you can get the sense that someone's focusing their energy on you, that, like, they're looking at you. It's kind of like, that's how realities are affected and create multiple realities, because when there's an observer, and they're observing you, you observe them, or you notice it, and now your reality's different, because you're sitting there reading your fucking book and shit, then you sense someone looking at you, you look up and that person is looking at you, that affected your reality right there. So this subject matter can get very confusing. Like, I know I'm jumping from topics from time to quantum physics to different realities. I'm trying to I myself am trying to understand these realities and concepts as well. It can get a little overwhelming, but for me, being in my field, I like stuff like this and I want to learn. Some people can't handle all this stuff. They'd be like, I gotta feed my kids. I don't have time to deal with aliens and ghosts and multiple realities. I'm trying to just deal with this one reality, which is understandable, and I respect that. But for me, for my journey on Earth, I do want to understand as much as I can in my life, because I want to know what's going on. Like, half the time, folks don't know what is going on in this world at all. You know, there's so much shit that we cannot see every day. We might be living in 10 or 12 different realities right now and don't even know, but things are happening in such a way where time distortion, that's why I spoke about time, because time is a heavy player, and also gravity. Gravity and time do affect a lot of things as well, as far as multiple worlds, multiple dimensions, and movement and speed. So what do we have so far? Because I remember I used to get A's in physics and stuff like that. Speed, time, space, light, frequency, and vibration, and observation and intent are big players in creating multiple realities. I'm going to do a part 3. We'll be back.